Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on Digital Week Online, and now for my guest is Kairat Kaliev. We're going to talk about the next topic. The next topic is about blockchain for corporates, trends, cases, challenges, and nowadays session is about fintech, DeFi, and digital assets. Kairat, the word is yours. Go ahead. You're on stage.
Yes, thank you, Sergey. Concerning blockchain development, especially in fintech industry, so we know that blockchain become more popular in financial services, and Bitcoin itself is kind of crypto asset or cryptocurrency. So it's very close to to fintech, to financial services, innovations, payments, etc. And we as a government organization, a policymaker, see a big opportunity and big challenges as this both, because we see a lot of opportunities, because a blockchain technology itself showed already that concept is kind of proven, and it may be utilized very effectively in financial industry. But from another hand, it's a lot of potential risks, and the decentralization itself creates a lot of risk of fraud, of data protection issues, etc. So that's why here I represent the International Financial Center. So we decided to work on it proactively. We started international experience and cases of regulation of blockchain sphere, and earlier in 2018, we in the AFC in Kazakhstan have developed a framework for crypto regulation. We make definitions in this law about crypto asset and crypto exchange, crowdfunding platform, etc. So we decided that it's important to create a regulation, and from one hand, and from another hand, of course, globally it's not very clear how to regulate this niche, and from one hand, from another hand, not to allow technology further development of the technology, of the services. That's why we also created a sandbox inside our regulation, sandbox, which allows startups to register their projects and act under sandbox regulations. So with of course probably some limitations in amounts and in amounts of customers, amounts of money raised, etc. But also allows act as a usual market player and provide services to public general. Concerning fintech at all, we built an ecosystem here to develop. So we are not on blockchain only. We are about fintech in general. So we have separate regulators, I mentioned. We have a sandbox. We have created a fintech hub to support startups from one hand, from another hand, to develop an ecosystem and all. And because AFC is working under English common law jurisdiction, as Hong Kong, for example, in China, and So we have created, we are building an ecosystem for venture industry at all, starting with VCs, structuring deals, and further to support startups, fintech startups, basically, and create an ecosystem for corporate innovations. So we are trying to become a platform for structured startup, and we have tools to support startups to grow. And here in region, and then we support startups to go abroad, to participate in international accelerators, and raise capital globally. We can say that there are a lot of blockchain startups in our portfolio cases, but we see a lot of interest of international companies, corporates dealing with blockchain. For example, Bitfury. A lot of you, I think, know that Bitfury, one of the biggest company in blockchain, in mining and blockchain solutions. They have a representative in Kazakhstan. They structured business here in the AFC, and we hope that we can attract more big blockchain players. First of all, because we have a lot of potential opportunity for mining industry, for crypto mining industry, and that attracts a lot of potential players. And also we supported with crypto-friendly, blockchain-friendly ecosystem and legislation. So besides AFC's regulation, Kazakhstan government have developed a law which also defines blockchain, crypto, etc., which allows crypto business work officially, and some of the activities are even tax exempted. And also, so as we say, the blockchain for corporates, we have developed the concept of our internal, let's say token, which could be potentially developed with probably in nearest future as a live product. To one of idea of this token is to cut transaction costs, and to develop a more convenient tool for our participants in internal transactions and international transactions. Internal, I mean, in the AFC, and international is for international players who want to be here in AFC. I probably should have started with what AFC it is. So AFC is in Astana International Financial Center. We have launched in 2018 live officially. So we what we developed. So first of all, we are developing foreign investor friendly ecosystem based on English common law, and we invited British juries. I mean, court. We have created a separate court system with British jurists invited from London, and we have also created a separate regulator as a kind of another central bank, but responsible for developing financial services here in the AFC. We've launched a stock exchange in partnership with NASDAQ and Shanghai Stock Exchange here, and also US stakeholders. So it's we've invited head of New Zealand former New Zealand Stock Exchange head, CEO, Tim Bennett. He's a CEO in our stock exchange now, and our government is making a big privatization program, and all this privatization will be held in our stock exchange. So it's a big jurisdiction. We develop mostly, as I mentioned, capital market, Islamic finance, fintech, green finance, and asset management. So our sandbox and our regulator is one of, I think, dynamic sandboxes in Eurasian region. We have more than 30 startups in sandbox, and most of them are active. So I think that first of all, we are positioning ourselves as a fintech center of competence here, and we also want to become a kind of I don't know, place for structuring, startup structuring for Eurasian region. Because of English common law, it's any, so Hong Kong, I think Hong Kong, British and US customers know what I'm talking about. It's kind of, in US, it's Delaware, you know, the state where startup structures, like venture investor structures their deals, and also Hong Kong, Cyprus, or Singapore. So we want to become a like place like that, but in Eurasia, because we have all this flexible approach for tools like convertible notes, for term sheets in the right way, for and we have, of course, we have judgment systems here separate for cases between which sometimes take place between investors and the founders. I think, Sergey, that's it. If any question, I'm ready to.
You know, actually, you have already covered the cases, the trends, but will be very interesting to listen about challenges. What kind of challenges do we have now on your side? It's very interesting for our customers, for our viewers as well.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of challenges. First of all, we have the same challenges as the rest of the world have. It's first of all coronavirus, which from one side forced digital agenda and digital projects. From another side, slowed down venture activities, and some deals were postponed, and so we see it's one thing. Another challenge is for developing countries, because we know that usually during the recession, most of international investors taking money and postponed investors in developing countries and allocated in developed countries, mostly in more secure assets. So I think that this kind of challenge that we have to work on, because anyway, developing countries usually have a bigger potential in this. Third one, it's I think that we have a lack of in Eurasian region. We have a lack of venture capital investments and culture in venture capital, including angel investors market, because even if like some of investors have funds to allocate to invest and willing to invest, but most of them like have no competence in terms of what startups to invest in, which is a better way, and of course it causes future losses, and this become, like, you know, it's kind of circle, because like these angel investors like allocate all funds to one startup, then it like falls and they lose money, and next time like they will not risk, and this is a kind of problem, and that's what we are trying what we are trying to resolve, and we organize special webinars and other courses to study potential angel investors to how to invest first of all, and second one, so we are trying to develop here as like an ecosystem for angel investors, like syndicates, have a special platform, crowdfunding platform, etc. So by the way, we in the AFC we have a regulation for equity crowdfunding, and that's how we want to develop, not only in startup but also in a real sector, like for example traditional mining, like Goldfield, etc. So we are negotiating to create with potential partners to create here in AFC a small junior mining platform, for example, which our regulation of equity crowdfunding allows to do.
You know, Kairat, perfect view. Thank you for your time. Yes, my pleasure to have you today on the stage. Yes, and we already have our next speaker. Mru Patel, you already here. Yes, Kairat.
Yeah, thank you very much for an opportunity. Should I leave or?
You can stay here, up to you. Yes, because we are already with the speakers. Up to you, Kairat. You're always welcome.
Okay.
Mru, nice to meet you here. Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure. And your talking is going to be about internet, blockchain, ICOs, DeFi, DAO. What's next? It's question to you, Mru. What's next? Share with me our thoughts. Yes.
Sergey, it's great to see you as always. I lose track. Are you following me? Am I following you? I know you're my best agent. Anyway, that's enough of the advert.
You're a listener. You know about that. Yeah.
Thank you. So, 3 years ago, when the ICO thing was really hot, I never bought into it. And that's where my journey started. It started 4 years ago when I first went into cryptos, but 3 years ago is when I said, I don't buy this ICO thing. Where do I go next? Okay. So everyone was looking at ICOs, some form of token, etc. And I went back and I said, I have experience right from the early mobile development days to .com, Java, internet. So I said, what happened in the .com days? And then I looked at it and I said, what happened in .com and the Java internet days was it enabled people to solve a problem of how to do some form of e-commerce. So the bricks and mortars types of businesses closed. And then what you got was the eBays of the world, the Amazons of the world's developed. But yes, sure enough, over 95% of people failed. And I crashed as well as many other people. So made the tens of millions, lost the tens of millions. Lesson learned. Then I went into real estate and everyone was doing financial leveraging of some form or the other. So leveraging on top of leveraging and all that. What happened? That bubble crashed. Another lesson learned. Then blockchain started. So these are the main, what I call the historical technology innovations that happen, and we've got to learn these lessons. Blockchain started. What was the killer app in that? Bitcoin. In the internet days, when it started, the killer app was emails. In the financial world, crowdfunding started, okay? That was the killer app, for one or better words, okay? Was it anything new? No, we did crowdfunding centuries ago. A and B gave money, they collected it, did a business. So Bitcoin came, blockchain. That I saw go very much hand in hand with the internet boom, because now it gave the fuel and the money away from governments and in a decentralized way in a proper trackable manner. Many altcoins came, ICOs came, another crash. Like all the other crashes, you get the cream rising at the top. So we've seen the ICOs and the IOs and the SEOs and STOs and all these O's that you can think of, and I'll say it's full of O's. 95% not worth it, okay? So why did that happen? I say the main reason why it happened was people were not doing business fundamentals, basic things that if I am an investor, where do I put the money? If I want to loan money, how would I loan money? So it all came down to middleman. If you look at it from the internet days, they wanted to cut the middleman down and bring products across the world virtually free of transactional costs and delivery anywhere in the world. Same with the crowdfunding. Finance was raised around the world virtually free in terms of transactional costs, but there was middlemen. Blockchain came, ICOs came, too many middlemen. So then came the big argument. Do we have a centralized exchange? Do we have a decentralized exchange? So the DeFi, DEX, CEX, the CeFi, all those arguments started evolving. This is the year of 2020. So what have we seen? We've seen the Uniswaps of the world, the Sushis of the world in decentralized exchanges kind of scenarios. Okay? So these are decentralized exchanges. Let's look at some pros and cons about this. When Mt. Gox happened, Binance gets hacked, BitMEX, all these people, when they get hacked or something goes wrong, because it's money, in the old days, we had banks. You could say, hey, Mr. Bank, you owe me money. It's not my problem. Give me my money back. In a centralized exchange, you can do the same thing. So Binance and all these people give your money back. In a decentralized exchange manner, who do you go to? Okay, therein it lies a problem. I'm not saying it's bad, but I will get into the pros and cons. Same thing happened with the centralized base of financing. You went to the bank in the traditional days. I need a mortgage. I need a loan to buy a car, house, yacht, helicopter, whatever it is. And you got it. Someone did the due diligence on you that make sure there's no money laundering or you've paid your taxes, etc. Nobody liked this. Why? Because it creates a big cartel between governments, banks, interest rates, and multiple number of what I call middlemen, be it lawyers, surveyors, chartered accountants, etc., etc. Everyone has to earn fees from it. It is very top loaded. So I took it back to the internet days. How do we crunch that whole model? So centralized exchange, good because at least someone is accountable and someone takes a ledger and someone says, I am liable for. Governments get involved if it's a regulated exchange. In a decentralized manner, it's really Wild West. Hell, if you go on Uniswap and some of these other exchanges, you don't even know your history. You don't know when to buy, when to sell. You don't know how to manage that portfolio of what your buy price was, what your stop losses are. You can't do any of these things that professional investors do. All right. Then I said, hang on, what is the problem that we're all trying to solve? The problem is people don't like being told where to spend their money. People like to get the best deal available across the world. The world's become very small with the internet. People like to know and understand that, you know what, there is an amount that I've got to pay for tax, but there's an amount that if I've already earned and paid tax for it, now whatever I make on it is my money. You can't tax on tax on tax till the day you die. You pay, even when you die, you pay a tax. When you create a pension, you pay a tax. So people get fed up of this. Governments don't like what I talk about. Banks don't like it because all these people, insurance companies, they are all getting a cut till the day you die and even after the day you die, because the person you've given the money to inherits the money and he gets bloody taxed on it as well for inheritance. So it's a vicious circle. Okay. So that's the problem people are trying to resolve. So I went back and thought 3 years ago again, what's the vision? And I looked at, I'm an Indian origin person, but very international, as you know, Sergey, born in Africa and Kenya, British citizen, Dubai resident, American, gay it up, living in Eastern Europe, la, 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 la. Anyway, so I said, the world has become international and global. True example of a global citizen. And it should have no borders. Okay? So how do you take all the good things that we've learned, cutting the middleman, creating some form of an exchange, creating some sort of a currency like Bitcoin that is going to be transacted everywhere, something that's regulated, something that someone is accountable for. These are the problems people want to resolve rather than up, down, up, down, up, down all the time. If I'm sending money to Sergey, he needs to have the exact money rather than a variation of plus or minus 10%. All right. Hence why CBDC started, the central banking digital currency started. Here's the problem with that, what a lot of people don't realize. Because in the last 2 years, cryptocurrencies became so accepted, and the governments and the banking industry, start from Jamie Dimons, he said, no, it's wrong and it's a fraud. He was the guy buying and selling and creating his own exchange and playing the game like a whale because it was unregulated. Sorry to call him out. But here's what's happening. Slowly, as all technologies take time and proof and make sure it's there, it's now accepted to the point that the Chinese, the Brits, the Germans, the French, the Eastern European countries where they do regulations have all started doing their version of central banking digital currency. Why? Because the banks are exposed, the government's exposed, and they know it. That if we don't do this, soon there won't be any currency for them to manage, no economies, no GDPs, none of these things, and no printing machines. So the Belarus of the world to Banks of England to the treasuries, everybody gets a good, nice goodbye to a certain percentage, okay? They will always be there till the day we die. Money will always be there. However, people have realized money is a way to transact. It has the value that the seller and the buyer say, this is the value of it, and I'm going to send it to you. So the same with crypto. It has a value. This is what I think the value is, and I'm sending it to you end to end. So it's a peer-to-peer agreement. Okay? Now, where I see the world going based on what I've just said is CBDC. Imagine you're in China, to take the worst example, or even in Russia, in your own home country. Sorry to say it. If you have your digital currency, guess what the government's going to do by having it? They'll now have a ledger of every single amount you've paid. So if the currency and the valuations are going down, they say, hey, Sergey, you've earned $1 million. And I see that you've bought some American or Chinese products, bloody stop it. Otherwise, we'll put a cap on the amount you spend. So now you've got your money, but you can't even spend it. Not only that, they know where you are spending it, how you're spending, who you're spending it with, and what size of transactions you're doing. Nobody wants that. Hence why crypto will be here to stay. Okay? CBDC will have a place for the large central things, but digital currency and blockchain has a place. So then you look at the peer-to-peer side of things. So any person, the example I just gave between you and me, for example, if I want to send money to Sergey, why should someone else know? Why should it go through MoneyGram, Telegrams, Western Unions, Bank of England's to Barclays Bank or whoever? Why should it go there? I send money to Sergey for free in a second, end of story. And that's where the peer-to-peer starts. Now, if you think centuries ago, the Indians, coming back to my Indian story, this was happening all the time. And the world knows the business of hundi and hawala. Okay, it's an international word. For centuries, hundi and hawala has been going on. A says, I want to send money to a place in India or Africa, and B collects. They have their own form of encryption. In India, it's the biggest thing going, by the way, across the world. A and B knows what the transaction encryption is through whatever code they use, and the transaction happens. It's based on trust, and it's based on permissionless stuff. So that's what blockchain has learned, and that's what's happening. Here's something for you, Serge. The first in the world to hear my phrase. So forget DeFi, forget ICOs, blockchain, everything. I've created a word just for you today, Sergey. It's called PeFi. PeFi. That's where the world is going.
It's really, it's very new definition. Yes, I would like to just listen.
Know what it is.
PeFi, finally, yes.
PeFi. So where, P5, PEFI, like how you have DEFI, P5. So this is person-to-person finance.
Wow.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So now, so the infrastructure for the person-to-person finance is all those issues and problems people have had with trust, making sure if I'm transacting with A and B, I know what value of the coin I have. And if it is stable and secured, that's the transaction currency I'm going to use. So, for example, we have a gold pegged coin. You know exactly for centuries what the price of gold is. In fact, in the last 3 decades, if you look at it, it's the best performing asset class in the world, without a doubt. All right. So people know what your value of transaction is. So when I send my PFI token to Sergey, he knows he will get it. Instant, no banking organization involved. So I say it, and you've heard it many times. We need banking. We don't need banks. Now, if you take back to the Hawala days, that's exactly what it's all about. Peer-to-peer remittances. If I'm doing any form of remittances, why do you need the Western Unions to the M-Pesas in Africa who charge between 10 to 15 to even 20% just to do a transfer to the poor people when they don't even earn that much money? PFI is the way, so you'll go peer-to-peer. Second thing, when you need a loan, there's already many peer-to-peer loan infrastructures, but why are these middlemen making so much money at such high interest rates? Soon people will say, you know what, Sergey, you already have 10,000 BTCs in your account. You want to borrow 5,000, put the custody through my smart contract, through my marketplace or the world's marketplace exchange. And I will give you the solutions for all this, by the way. And they take a minimal to virtually free transaction cost, and you to agree what interest rate each person is willing to agree on. Or it goes on a bid and an auction, and the cheapest person who bids and auctions gets it. So where people are paying 30, 40, 50, and even 90%, I've seen for these sorts of microfinance loans, you get it for virtually less than 5%. And it's not peer-to-peer, smart contracts. You take custody of the person's asset, and until he pays you back, you release his asset back. Very clear in properly regulated escrow situations. You can go the same way with insurances, any form of goods, products, services in the same manner. Why have so many middlemen? So PFI and the peer-to-peer finance structure is the way forward. Let me tell you, so 3 years ago, with that vision in mind, I didn't invent the word P5. I invented it just this morning. Would you believe it? I'll be honest. Okay. But so I said, what kind of a wallet would someone want? I said, I'm not loyal to any banks now. So I want all my bank account, any bank account on the wallet. And I can say which bank to pay into, which bank to pay out of, which one to receive my payments, where the bill goes out from, where the bill comes in from. My choice. Same thing with exchange. When I go from here to Russia, to China, to Middle East, to Africa, wherever I go, I want to have the exchange rate not from a MoneyGram or a one of these airport peoples, and that's why Thomas Cook, I was going to name it, but I can say it. That's why they went pop, because they were making a fortune in the early days with with American Express vouchers and all these exchange rates at an airport. They are the worst for taking commissions. Now, if you have an exchange, and now think if we have a distributed exchange which works and is properly managed with some form of centralization. I won't see, the Uniswaps working immediately now for this, but there needs to be some form of centralization, and it will develop. Even CZ from Binance says the same thing. At the moment, some form of centralization, decentralization will happen when people gain that trust. So I want to take euros out with my dollars. Straight from the exchange in your wallet, you do that swap. And it's at the interbanking rates. Oh, I've got my OZT coins, OZTG coins, which are our gold pack coins, and I want to convert that to euros or pound sterling. Same thing. I want to convert dollars to euros. Same thing. So now you see the value of that peer-to-peer way of doing it. The buyer and the seller can do it themselves. imagine a buyer has so much dollars, euros, whatever, they want to transact. Some people, and dare I say it, this is where the controls and regulations need to come in, may want to do that transfer directly, which is what's happening in the world, in India specifically, through the Hawala business. It's exactly what happens, and people pay up to 4-5% and more for doing that. I won't go into the reasons why, but this happens. So privacy is the biggest thing that's happening. Our blockchain, OZTG coin and OZT blockchain, we have a privacy-based token and protocol in the system already. So in terms of getting hacked, it's very, very rare. And in terms of having privacy, fantastic. In terms of having a wallet, any bank account can go in there. And our exchange, we've taken even that to a different level. So we have a financial institution license, wallet license, and an exchange license. So based on that, we can do crypto to crypto, fiat to fiat, fiat to crypto, okay? And based on that, with the interbanking exchange rates, what we do is people transact at interbanking rates, and they can even do the swaps straight off the thing. So that's the solution. And then we give them a card where they can store their crypto on their card or on the exchange or on their chosen cloud. So no one likes an exchange being hacked and they lose their money. Now we give you the authority to say, you know what? You can go onto any exchange that you want, and you can trade on any exchange that you want, and you can store your crypto in your own vault or in your choice of vault. So you keep it. So now you are the bank manager, and you are your own wealth manager, and you are your own exchange manager, and you are your own yield farming and wealth creation and all of these things. So all these products are already included in our system. So next year, we are going to take it to the decentralized full manner. And the 2 years later, because it's a very long journey, it's not that easy, no matter what people tell you, it's not that easy. Doing a DeFi token, anyone can do it. 99% fail within the first 2-3 weeks. With that, Sergey, I hope you learned a new phrase from me, PFI.
Yes. Finally, today is I want to show that it's not P2P, it's people finances, and that finances finally have to go to the people around the globe. Miro, thank you for your time. Thank you for your interesting, as usual, amazing topic. Share with our community, share with our viewers as well. Now I want to say you goodbye. See you a bit later. And my next speaker for today's event is Laurent Morosini. Just let me
Thank you, Sergey. Bye.
Yeah.
Hi, Laurent. Hi, Laurent.
Hi. Hello.
We met earlier.
Laurent is Societe Generale Security Services Head of Innovation, and his topic is about tokenization of capital market. Laurent, the stage is yours. Go ahead.
Hello. So, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, world. So, I'm Laurent Morosini. I'm Head of Innovation for Societe Generale Securities Services. As you can see behind me, I'm based in Luxembourg, a very small country, small and smart country, I would say. I'm also blockchain leader for Societe Generale and also president of different associations in Luxembourg at ALFI, so Association Luxembourgeoise des Fonds d'Investissement, so the investment fund industry. And also I'm president of a task force for issuing some recommendation to the Ministry of Finance in Luxembourg. I'm part of a Societe Generale group. So blockchain is not a new topic for us, and we are part of the journey since 2014, I would say, and we have made experimentation in mainly 5 sectors: in the trade finance, so in the capital markets trading, in the digital identity, also in the payment, cross-border payment, and also in the insurance. So let's go directly to the topic, because I have only 15 minutes today. So why tokenization matters in the capital markets? So in terms of observation, we still have a settlement risk. It's still very costly with a high number of reconciliation, a high number of stakeholders. You are talking about depository bank, custody, sub-custody, Nostro Bank, etc., etc. So still a lot of stakeholders, so a lot of database to do reconciliation. Settlement type for transaction. Yes, indeed. This morning I was part of another forum with Banque de France, so in France, and somebody said, I don't understand why we are able to do delivery versus payment, a physical delivery versus payment with Amazon in 1 hour in Paris, whereas globally in the world, the DVP is still 2 days. So it's not yet possible, and still a lack of transparency. So tokenization will bring in the table a lot of interesting benefits. The first one, and I would say it will be the most interesting for the financial industry, is the cost reduction. And if you take the first survey in 2015, 2016, tokenization and blockchain as a whole can do savings of about 20 billions in the infrastructure. So cost reduction, transformation of the post-trade and market infrastructure with a common operating standards. So indeed, with tokenization, we are near the real-time settlement and not the T+2. Greater, and we will improve the liquidity due mainly to the fractional ownership. With crypto assets and with Istio in the secondary market, we can move to 24 hours, 7 days trading. And one of the key elements of the blockchain, and it's not only for the capital market, is more transparency to the auditor. If you give a node of a blockchain to the auditor, it will improve the way they do the audit, to the regulators, but also to the investors, to the issuer, and so on. So to the different key stakeholders. A lot of things has been done. Here you can see the different taxonomy which has been agreed at, I would say, at the world level, at the European level. But a lot of things has been done. So since 12 years time, we started the journey mainly with the payment token, Bitcoin, and so on. After we moved to the utility token with the famous ICO, so initial coin offering between 2016-17 to 2019. So today also we still have a lot of ICO, but a high number of speculation. But what is very interesting, and this is where we will have the full adoption of the financial industry and with the institutional investors, is the move to the security token, because it's a fully regulated securities environment. So tokenization, what can be tokenization? Is it a new Eldorado? So you have a lot of study around the tokenization. And if we take the famous one of the World Economic Forum, 10% of the GDP can be tokenized in 2027. This is a potential market of 24 trillion of US dollar. We can tokenize what we want to tokenize, but indeed we need to have a market, we need to have the benefits. Sometimes you have no benefit to tokenize a different product. Obviously, the one which is the most eligible to the tokenization is, of course, the equity, so the listed and the unlisted equities. They are the one who are the most eligible to the tokenization. The bonds, and we will see in different examples, and in Société Générale, we do a lot of things in the tokenization of bonds. The real estate and the fund industry are definitely candidate for tokenization. We've already some use cases in the fund industry. You see Easness, Funds DLT, Fund Admin Chain. So we see different initiatives that are already live in the tokenization, and new companies are coming also in this sector. And also in terms of real estate, you have seen some projects that are live also. They have already tokenized some real estate in Paris, in London, in Berlin, in Zurich, in also Geneva, in Singapore, and so on. So all around the world. So tokenization, definitely a key topic that will impact the world and the capital market. So when we are talking about tokenization, indeed, we see the value chains that are going to change in the different stages. The first one is the primary market. So the primary market, we will see new issuance platform and new ecosystem player. So it's definitely a new distribution channel for the issuer and for the investor, a new way to invest in the future. So we have seen different companies entering in this stage, and I will show you in my last slide what we have done in Société Générale in a bond issuance, but it's already reality with the World Bank, with the Bank of Thailand, with also different other private banks that have done a lot of things in this primary market. So a new way to raise money, to issue bonds, to issue equity, and so on. The secondary market, like the trading, will see new player, new digital exchange. We already have seen new digital exchange in the crypto exchange since now 10, 12 years old. But the stock exchange of today will see its role changing in the future. That's why we see the different stock exchange around the world investing in different startups and working to add the security token offering in the catalog of the different stock exchange in the future. So it will bring new liquidity, new products, and also trading opportunities, like I said just before, in the 24/7 trading opportunities. The post-trade is definitely a key topic for the capital market. This is where we see a high number of stakeholders. It's a very costly process, even if a lot of things has been done since years, a lot of improvement has been done, but this is definitely a key topic in the future. Yes, indeed, we are currently having a strong look to what has been done and to what will be done, because it has been postponed due to the coronavirus to 2021 in Australia, because they are going to change the ASX system, clearing and settlement system. So we will see what's going on in this field, and it's a very, I would say, if everything is working next year, I believe that the other post-trade system around the world will continue in this field. The last one, and obviously is also a key topic, is the digital custody. Digital custody is something new. It's not the traditional custody. The traditional custody will still exist in the future because we still have fiat, we still have US dollar, we still pay people the pension in US dollar, in euro, in GBP. So the custody will still exist, but we will have a new way and techniques to safekeep the token, so the digital custody, with the creation of new services. This is where we are going to talk about hot storage, cold storage, and also new methods to safekeep the tokens. It's definitely a key topic, and this is where we will talk a lot about cyber security. So also in this field, we will have we have seen a high number of new startups working on different techniques to ensure the security of the different tokens. So the financial industry is also working on this topic, but it will also take time. One of the key points is definitely the digital currency. And as said Bill Gates, the future of money is digital currency. Christine Lagarde said 2 weeks ago, we need to be ready for a DigiEuro. Indeed, in the blockchain, we see that it works very well for any traditional assets, for securities, for bonds, but we need to have the solution for the cash, because with the cryptocurrency as we have with Bitcoin, indeed, we cannot do delivery versus payment with Bitcoin. But obviously, with a settlement coin, with DigiEuro, DigiDollar, DigiYuan, it will ease the process. And it's a key topic today. And when we see what has been done with the experimentation with Banque de France, with the DG Euro, with the different projects in China, we believe that the wholesale CBDC will definitely be a catalyst for tokenization of the asset. There is also the retail coin. We have seen different experimentation and also different projects like Libra, and but we believe that it will take more time in the retail coin rather to the wholesale, where we have limited number of people that works on project, and it can go faster to the market. So it can bring also a high opportunity to the market more globally. And at the end, just a slide to show and explain what has been done in Société Générale. So in 2019, we have issued a bond with a bond of 100 million in a public blockchain Ethereum, just to say that indeed it is possible to issue a bond in a public blockchain. The code has been audited, and 1 year after, we have done a similar operation, 40 millions issuing in a public blockchain Ethereum, but in this case, we have done delivery versus payment with Banque de France Eurosystem, as you can see in this slide. So 40 millions, the code is audited in a public blockchain Ethereum, and I would say it's only the beginning of the story of tokenization. Now we will see to enlarge also the possibility to have external investors, so external issuer, external investor, and also still work on the CBDC and settlement coin to ensure the efficiency of the blockchain. And that's it for me. I don't know if I can have question.
Yeah. We're here.
Yeah.
Just to share your screen. Yeah, maybe some question to you personally. You know, Laurent, as today is it possible to unshare the screen?
Yeah.
Please.
Did you see the screen?
Yes, I see the screen. I want to see you personally. Just unshare it. Stop it.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Laurent, yeah, finally, maybe I have one question to you. What's specially happens on your side? I'm talking about Paris. Am I right? You're there?
Yeah.
Okay. Just all world is, I don't know, is somehow face new kind of technologies. We're calling about DeFi services. Just your couple of thoughts about that. What do you think about, and what's happening on your side?
So regarding DeFi, so decentralized finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of interesting things, interesting products. It's amazing what we see in the DeFi. I would say it's like in the financial industry, we are very focused on STO for the moment. I do not believe that it's a field where the financial industry will go in a couple of months, in a couple of years, mainly due to the fact that it's very decentralized, and where we need to find our role in the DeFi in the future. But definitely, yeah,
Okay, perfect. Laurent, thank you for your time. My pleasure to have you here on stage. We have to go to the little bit break. Yes. Tune with us. Just stay tuned. We are going to back soon, very early. See you.
See you. Have a good day.
Okay.